Hey, what's up? It's Patrick. It's Rose via Fire, and I want to talk about, will you forgive God? So people may be like, okay, what do you mean, will you forgive God? Like, God doesn't need forgiveness. Who are you to try to forgive God? You know what I'm saying? Christians gonna be appalled by this message. They're gonna be like, oh my gosh, she's talking about, will you forgive God? Like, what do you mean, will you forgive God? Like, the Christians gonna be bedazzled, buffled. What's that word? They're gonna be buffled and puzzled. Like, what do you mean, will you forgive God? This is a message probably Christians never heard of. Talking about, will you forgive God? Like, what do you mean, will you forgive God? Well, let me break it down, right? You got people out there to whereas they got resentment towards God. You know what I'm saying? They mad at God for some type of things that he did in their life. You know what I'm saying? They could be mad at God for all types of things. They could really, like, you got people who really could be holding grudges against God. Like, they could really be hating God, like all types of things. You know what I'm saying? They feel as though God did them wrong. Like, you got people out there to where they feel God did them wrong and they holding that resentment. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by, will you forgive God? I mean, like, okay, will you let go of that resentment towards God? You know what I'm saying? You basically forgiving God for your own, you know what I'm saying, for your own sanity, bruh. So you don't have to walk around with all this resentment towards God for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? Some people out there have a serious resentment for God. Like, oh, why God let my wife die? Why God let my husband die? I'm just going to walk around in resentment towards God. You know what I'm saying? Forever. I'm like, bro, you forever? Are you serious? You gonna resent God forever? You know what I'm saying? Do you know how many people went through so many tragic things and they still chose to forgive and they still move forward? Come on, bro. You forgiving God for your own good. Like, you can't be walking around with all that types of resentment towards God. You know what I'm saying? And it's blocking you from even, like, following God. It's blocking you from hearing from God because you already blocked God out of your mind and out of your life. It's because you're holding this grudge against God and you're holding this resentment towards God and you don't want to forgive God. Some people don't want to forgive God for things that they feel as though God did wrong. Like, God, they feel as though God let them down and they hold this grudge against God. And you know what I'm saying? They hold this certain type of resentment towards God. And you got to let go of that resentment towards God, bro. I'm trying to tell you. You got to let go of that resentment towards God, man. I don't know. Majority of people who have a resentment towards God, they feel like God did them wrong. Yeah, majority of them is not going to change, but somebody out there who has a resentment for God might hear this message and they might reach them. You know what I'm saying? They might be like, wait, hold on. I probably should, like, let go of this resentment that I have towards God. I probably should humble myself towards God. You know what I'm saying? Don't you know that there's black people who hold a resentment towards God for allowing slavery? You know what I'm saying? They be like, man, God allowed slavery, man. I have such a grudge and resentment towards God. I would never forgive God. I would never forgive God. I would never let go of that resentment. I would never follow God and this and that. So this message is designed to reach people like this, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna be real with you, man. It's like we all going through a lot of stuff. Like, real followers of God, we go through so much stuff. You know what I'm saying? We go through stuff that could be traumatizing and this and that. But yo, we gotta forgive and move forward, man. We gotta push forward in our walks with God, man. We still gotta follow God and we gotta push forward, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we cannot be holding no resentment towards God or towards other people. You know, so some people have a resentment towards other people. Some people have a resentment towards God. Man, like, people have a resentment towards all types of things, man. Some parents may have a resentment towards their kids. Some kids may have a resentment towards their parents, to whereas they don't want to forgive. They don't want to let it go. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't you know how many people don't want to let it go? Like, look, though. They feel as though God let somebody close to them die years ago, so they don't want to forgive God for that. So they holding that resentment and that grudge. 15 years later, they still holding on to that resentment and that grudge, and it's destroying them. It's eating them alive because they don't want to forgive. And something about when you don't want to forgive, sometimes it could crush you inside, bro. It could literally like start destroying your heart and how you think, bro. Cause you holding all that weight of unforgiveness. You know what I'm saying? Cause unforgiveness in a lot of situations, it has weight to it. It's like you holding a spiritual weight over your mind, bro, and over your shoulder. It's like there's a dark figure of unforgiveness over your spirit, man. You don't want to forgive. You don't want to let it go, man. Just forgive and move forward, man. You know what I'm saying? I use my life as an example. I done been through all types of stuff, traumatizing stuff. I done been through seasons of life where I'm praying to God and it's not feeling like God is moving. It's not feeling like God is getting me out when I want him to get me out. You know, but eventually he got me out on his timing. God don't do it on your timing. God do it on his timing. And sometimes when God do it on his timing, it feels as though he just allowing us to be let down over and over. And that's how we feel sometimes, you know. We just got to keep it real. But yeah, the question still stands. Will you forgive God? You know what I'm saying? You feel as though God wronged you. You feel as though God done you wrong. You feel as though God did this to you. God did that to you. Will you forgive God? Because has God done some crazy stuff? Yes, he has. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he has. And Tiario talked about, he also talked about how God did all these different crazy things. Like, man, God does a lot of crazy things, bro. So did God do crazy things to all of us almost? Yes, bro. But will you forgive God or will you hold on to that resentment? So if we hold on to that grudge and that resentment and we start hating God, we ain't never going to be able to follow God. I'm going to repeat that one more time. Especially for black people. Let me talk to black people real quick, though. If we hold on to the resentment of God and we holding a grudge against God and we resenting God and we hate God and we don't, how we going to follow God then? How you going to follow God when you holding this resentment towards God and you don't want to let go of that grudge towards God? You know what I'm saying? Some people hate God, man. They have this resentment towards God and they have this hatred towards God and they have this unforgiveness towards God. So how are these people going to follow God when they have this unforgiveness towards God? You know what I'm saying? So the question still stands. Will you forgive God, man? You know what I'm saying? I know them Christians probably like, oh, that message is interesting. You know what I'm saying? Like, because, you know, them Christians, bro, you say something that sounds a little different, or them Christians going to pull up, be like, I am the Bible grammar police. Open up. Like, what are you talking about? Like, will you forgive God? God don't need forgiveness, this and that. God doesn't do crazy things. Oh, yeah, these Christians going to go off in the grace of God, the faith, the shield, the armor. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Oh, my gosh, what are you talking? You cannot forgive God. God doesn't need your forgiveness. Oh, my gosh. Okay, then. But that's basically all I wanted to say, man. Peace.